What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? It is Thursday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I hope everybody's having a good week. We are having a pretty cool week over here. So let's get right into it. This week we are going to talk about a few things. And I want to show you a couple things and answer a few questions and etc. So if you're new to the Dylan Talks Tone channel, every Thursday we do a live Q&A, and I try to get to as many questions as possible. If you want to make sure that you get your question answered, you can go to patreon.com/DylanTalksTone and ask the question over there, and I make sure that I get to all of those ones. Of course, you can throw a super chat in here too as well. That's the normal YouTube thing. So yeah, we got a couple of cool stuffs. Super fun. First of all, I'm pretty stoked because we have, well, it's another, where's my, oh, I do this every week, don't I? Like, I think I hear myself, but, okay. So I'm pretty stoked because Dan at Guns and Guitars came out with his video about his guitar that he built for the Great Guitar Build-Off, which is really awesome. And it was really an experimental pickup. His demo video with the sounds of that should be out today or tomorrow. He told me that he was working on it. I think he wanted to try to get it done before the auction, but he ended up putting the auction up first. I don't know if you saw, everybody thought that Texas Toast was going to just run away with it, at $5,000 or whatever. But Dan's is already over like $3,500. So, I mean, so cool. So cool. So I'm glad that people are digging the whole charity thing. I'm glad that people are liking the guitars. Super stoked on it. His especially is really unique. I really dig it. And he says it sounds amazing. He's texted me a couple of times and he's like, these pickups are so good. He's like, can you make me another set? So apparently they're really good. I haven't even heard them. I just literally built them and gave them to him for the build. So, yeah, had no idea. We've already had probably a couple of, I think we've had 3 or 4 people ask about where to get those pickups. I will tell you too, they are actually kind of spawning a new 6-string pickup that's going to be coming out also. So we're calling it the Slant 6. It's going to be available in 6-string for guitar and 4-string for bass. So, and they're both in humbuckers size packages. So pretty sweet. So that's that. Let's get to some of these questions. I want to not waste a bunch of time here, so let's do that. We got some new patrons over on Patreon asking new questions, which is really super cool. George is one of those new guys, so thank you so much, George, for joining us. I want to change the tuners on my Squier Classic Vibe Telecaster thin line. Can you recommend a set of locking tuners? I have put a link to a set of locking tuners that I love in the description of this video. Actually, hey Leslie, are you free? Can you grab me, you know where I put my hats above the bed? There's a box of Clues and Revolution tuners for this build I'm doing right now. Can you grab them? Thanks. I actually have a set, so I'll show you why I like them. I ordered them for this custom build. If you follow us on Facebook, which I hope you do, and Instagram, part of the Facebook group over there, you'll see pictures of this build I'm working on right now. It's actually going to Kiev, Ukraine, I think. And it's a green Stratocaster, but it's a hardtail with 2 P90s in it, and we're using these Clues and Revolution tuners, and they're my favorite. I put a link to them in the description of this video. They're wicked fantastic. They're they're amazing. They're 19-1. They're really nice, smooth. That is the ones. We gotta kill this fly, man. Okay, yeah. So here they are, and what I like about them, especially for traditional fender stuff, is they are the typical H pattern style. So they're the normal vintage plate. See that? They're the normal vintage plate, and they made up to each other. You know, they sit next to each other just like the normal Fender vintage plate. Now the only thing with these is they are 10 millimeter. They are 10 millimeter. They're not the vintage hole, but I really do like them. And then they have the regular locking on the back. They're 19-1. They're super, super nice. And they're staggered posts, so you don't have to use a string tree anymore, because if you followed my channel for any time at all, you'll know I don't like string trees wherever possible. In fact, we're going to talk about friction in just a minute in another question. So anyway, I just wanted to show these to you. There's a link to them in the description. They're amazing. These are like my favorite. I use them on almost all of our builds. There is another Clusen tuner that slides right into the vintage style hole, and it has like a cap on the end of it that I also really, really like as well. I use Clusen stuff almost exclusively. We use Spurzl stuff when people ask for it, because I do like their stuff too. But most of the time, it's not very often actually that I use a 10 millimeter hole. So I really, really like these tuners. These are awesome. Nick says, I got a Squier Supersonic recently. I love it, but the low E has a hard time staying in tune. All the other strings are fine. I changed the string tree, put graphite in the nut slot, put on heavier gauge strings, 10s, which isn't that heavy actually, and did a whole setup, and it's not as bad as it was. It still has some tuning stability issues. It's a reverse headstock, problem number one, and I've seen and heard before that reverse headstocks hold tuning better. No, they don't, and don't even need string trees. But I don't know of a legitimate source to check the logic behind that idea. Ultimately, I just want this thing to stay in tune, and the low E seems to be the only thing holding it back. Where do you think my problem lies? Friction. And break angle on the low E. So I hate reverse peg heads. I won't do it. If somebody calls me and says, can you build me a reverse peg head guitar? I'll pretty much say no, because they are very unreliable. You could try using a staggered tuning key like these so that it goes down further. String trees don't work because they just add more friction and causes the problem to be worse. I would also look at, really honestly, I would look at the nut. That would be the number one spot that I would go to. Yeah, that would be the number one spot I would go to as far as friction goes. So, but the fact to say that they hold tuning stability better is a myth. It's not true. They don't work that good. Okay. We got another question here asking about what I explained about the 5-way blade switch. Hopefully you guys dug that video. And he's asking this really complicated. I don't really understand it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a couple of more to answer his question. He basically wants to know how to hook up the tone side better, have more specific examples of how to hook up the tone side of the Strat switch, because in that video we talked about how it's two different switches. One side is one and one side is the other. You guys are seeing the fly. And so, you know, pickup input comes from one side, and then you bridge it over to the other side, and then you would have, you know, your tone circuits come off the other side. That's basically how a Strat switch works. But I will put on Patreon, I'll put some more wiring diagrams so that everybody knows what's up. And then let's see what else we got. I put a link to the new bass pickups that just came out in the description of this video also. Let me see. I have a list of stuff to talk about today. I actually made a list. I wrote it down. We talked about the 2 new pickups coming out, the bass and the guitar. The guitar one's not out yet. Basically what I'm waiting for on the guitar one is I need to get done with this string deal, because I made this rule for myself that I would not work on that guitar until that string comparison series was over. And I don't remember how many sets we have left. 2 sets, I guess, left. And we have to delay the next video until probably Wednesday of next week, because a combination of things. I waited too long. One thing is I waited too long. Because I didn't realize, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have been a big deal. But there's one set of strings that I've been trying to get for this experiment that I have not been able to find anywhere. I've been trying to buy them local because I can get them faster, and even Amazon didn't have them for a while. So I don't want to tell you which ones they are, because we're getting down to it. And the reason I don't want to do the video before I get them is because if I only have one string set left, then I'll know which one the last set is, and I don't want to do that. So I want to get them all here before we continue. So we're going to put that string video off until probably Wednesday. We're going to have a new video coming out on Monday, but we're going to have the string thing. It might just end up being an extra video next week to keep that string experiment going. But if I only had one set left and then I bought this set, then I would know what that last set was. I don't want that. I want it to be 100% legit. So we're going to just wait a couple extra days. And normally it wouldn't have been a big deal, like I said, but everybody's been out of stock. So strings have been kind of hard to find, even in various local. I don't know if you guys have seen this or not. I mean, you can get the easy stuff like, Diodarios and Ernie Balls are basically everywhere. But if you play something specific, it's hard to find them. It is definitely hard to find some stuff in the gauges that you want. I've noticed that there's been a bunch of music stores that have been low on stock on stuff. So anyway, the other thing I want to talk about too is we are close. Normally I start announcing the next, so I give a guitar away every 10,000 subscribers, right? That's been our thing since we hit 20. So every 10,000 subscribers we give a guitar away. Well, we're gonna give away 2 when we hit 50,000, because 50,000 is a big number, man, and that's really cool. And I'm super grateful for everybody for always watching this stuff. So hang on, I don't know how many subscribers we have. We're like just shy of 44,000. So typically what I do is when I get to the halfway point between 10,000, that 5,000 breakaway, I start announcing what we're going to give away. And I figured it's probably about a week early, but we'll hit 45,000 here in the next week or so. We're going to give away the Gibson, the Epiphone Les Paul Classic or Standard or whatever it is. We're going to give away that guitar. That's going to get a new set of pickups. That is going to get probably new pots. We'll do a bunch of videos on it in the next week or, the next couple months actually. So that guitar is going to get given away to a lucky winner somewhere in the United States. And of course, we're also going to give away a set of pickups to somebody international, the normal kind of deal. And then we're also going to give away the, because I still have it and I've never done anything with it, we did some videos on EMG pickups and some other stuff. We still have that Jackson Rhodes V with the EMGs in it. So we're going to give that away at the same time. I'm actually going to give away 2 guitars at the same time. So I'm really super excited about that. Chris Hendricks wants to know if I've ever just thought about doing an overspray relic on the Les Paul. I don't want to relic it. I just don't. It's too nice of a guitar. It's really, really nice. And it's like this thing is like in brand new condition. The person that gave it to me is actually one of our he might be watching this, or he'll watch it in replay. Doug, he gave that guitar to me, and he told me to make sure that whoever gets it isn't going to sell it, like somebody that really needs a good guitar, you know. So it's a really cool guitar. Somebody said they saw Leslie, and somebody said they saw The Fly also.
This ain't Texas toast.
What'd you say?
This ain't Texas.
This ain't Texas toast. That's right. Hip shot tuners are awesome too. Let's see. Just going down through here and making sure I catch everybody. I hate flies. It's a pet peeve.
Does anybody like flies? I mean...
Right? Locking tuners only help tuning stability caused by an improper wrap or crappy stock tuners in general. Yeah, it's true. It's totally true. People give tuning stability, or people give locking tuners way too much credit. They're just fast. They're just fast. Why don't you like reverse headstocks anything other than tuning stability? They are a setup nightmare. They're absolutely a setup nightmare every time. Every time. I don't like them. I won't do them. Darren says he took his string trees off his Strat. Makes sense. I would do the same thing. If you're a left-handed player and you know how to take right-handed guitar and flip it, does that make it a reverse headstock? Exactly. What happened to the Les Ply? I don't know. I gotta talk to the... They still have it. That's their guitar, so I don't really have a whole lot of say in that. Somebody asked about, can you explain the difference between a treble bleed and 50s wiring? We have videos on both of those things. If you want to subscribe to the channel, we have videos on both of those. Treble bleed is a hookup on the volume pot. 50s wiring is the way the tone circuit is hooked up. They do two different things, two different jobs. Have you tried Warmoth? Yes, actually, I'm using a Warmoth neck on my latest build right now. I like them. I want to win the fence post guitar. I sold the fence post for lots of money because a house went with it. Let's see. What's your thoughts on Evertune bridges? I don't know. I mean, they're cool. I don't have any reason for them, but you know, I think they're a neat thing, definitely. I'm not sure if I should feel threatened by the knife play or not. I'm trying to stop biting my nails, so having something to play with all the time helps. So that's what I'm doing. So this is my latest everyday carry. It's a Benchmade, and the quality of this knife is absolutely unbelievable. It is phenomenal knife, so good. However, the only thing I don't like about it is it's not assisted open. So my Kershaw that I had before, I like that one because it flips. So it's more fun to play with, basically. And then I gave the Spyderco to my nephew. I know you all wanted me to try a Spyderco. I bought a Spyderco. I didn't like it, so I gave it to my nephew, and he loves it. Absolutely loves it. Yeah. So, Ben, let me know what Benchmade you have, and if it's assisted, I'd be interested. I'd probably buy another one now that I have one. These things are great. Do you still make the Quattro pickups? We do. Actually, the Quattro pickups have been on back order because we do not have all the parts for them right now. I'm waiting for some stuff to get back in stock on those. They are coming. Get a fidget spinner like a middle schooler. Yeah, so definitely. They are coming. They're coming for sure. So you guys are awesome. I know it's a little shorter one today, but I didn't have a ton of stuff, but I just wanted to make sure that we stayed and hung out. Make sure you check out our the Patreon thing for sure, because I do appreciate that very much. There's links below for all the stuff today. Keep throwing questions, keep chatting in the comments. This is awesome. Tell all your friends, because we need to get to 50,000 so we can give away a couple guitars. I really want to, because there's another guitar I want to buy, but I can't buy any more guitars for videos until after we hit 50,000 so I can give these ones away. It doesn't have anything to do with money as much as it has to do with space, because I can only keep a couple guitars at a time because we're in a motorhome. So these ones need to go away before I can buy another one, and I have a really cool guitar in mind for the next one. So yeah, so we definitely need to give some guitars away before we can get any more. So that's it, man. You guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out, and I guess we will see you. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Actually, because I'm still working on the deal. Actually, this one's taking a little extra stuff, and because of COVID and everything, the availability on it is a little bit lower. So I'm not even going to say, but it's amazing. And let's just say I'm spending my own money on something. Well, we're going to use Patreon dollars and probably end up giving it away or doing something with it. Let's just say that I'm actually spending money on something that you would never ever expect. That is all. That's all I'm saying. It's going to be awesome. But we have to get to 50,000 first so I can give these other two away so I have room for it. So, there you go. You're going to see some cool stuff next week. Guitar stuff, guitar build stuff, because we're building the Strat. So, hardtail, really cool. Probably talk about some more setup stuff and neck setup and fretwork and all that kind of stuff. So, thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all very soon.